Righto. Yep. New switch, new valve, blah blah, whatever. It's an old Swan, and that's not the original pump that's on it. This one is, and it wants a rebuild. So anyway, been using this a while, and what I'm finding now is air is coming out of the coming out of here. This gets up to pressure, cuts off as it's supposed to, and when it goes down to 90 psi, where it's supposed to kick in, I reckon a valve is not seating properly, or not sealing, because what's happening, well, there's shims in there. It's getting pressure in here, which tells me that a valve is a shim is sitting open or not seating properly, and it's putting, you got 90 psi on inside the one of these cylinders, and it's when this motor kicks in, even with the start, this engine will sit there and surge. It won't start it up. It'll sit there and hum because it's too much load. So that's telling me that the cylinder is one or both of these cylinders are pressurizing, making it impossible for this to then turn it over, because a cylinder is already equalized in pressure with the tank. So whatever pressure the tank's at, a cylinder is at, and it's trying to turn that over. It just doesn't have it, because this is only I'm glad it can't do it, because 1 3/4 horsepower, that's, so that head's coming off. And if this thing's buggered, it pumped alright at first. It came off the tip, this pump. I bought this whole air compressor for $10. Not this compressor. We had a buggered tank and that, but the pump was still good. The electric motor was shot, but yeah, the pump looked good. Nice and quiet, pumped up fast. But I noticed it is pumping up pretty slow lately, and that could be it. So yeah, Allen keys to get the head off. Just have a look. And if she's buggered, well, I can just jump on eBay and get a new pump. Just get a new pump. Yeah, it is cheaper than a new compressor, but in saying that, it's an old tank. Alright, let's see what I can do here. Hang on. Just so I document this bit, took that one and that one out. Clean. Oily. That can't be a good sign. So this could be getting interesting, folks. Alright, time to lift it up. Have a look. Well, let's see. I reckon if I clean that, it might be alright. Bit of oil on there. Hang on. Well, inside the head don't look too bad. The lighting's not very good. Let's go over to here. This is it. Ooh. Not pretty. Yeah, the shims. They're what's supposed to seat. Don't feel any movement there. But I can understand if a compressor decides to... It did pump air still, but not very well. Well, actually it wasn't too bad, but just rotate. Okay, hang on. These stop the shims from opening too far, and I dare say they wouldn't be seating too well. I'm going to clean that up. It's just, yeah. This pump was covered in this stuff, so I'm assuming whatever that is. I better go look at that air filter, and I should have done that. That's a good design. That didn't fall apart in my hands. It just, yeah. Clean those. Well, let's look at those cylinders. Get this over. Looking at that inside there, I am worried about the cylinder walls. Oh, we've got some glazing. I don't see any crisscross. Can I get a... I'll come back to this with some light. Hang on. Let's put some light on the subject. Is that crisscross? This line's up and down, but I don't see crisscross. I don't see cross hatching. I do see, yeah, I don't think it's glazed really, but it's got lines up and down, so the cross hatching is worn off it. Same on here. So a very light hone might do it the world of good. I've heard of people just putting the piston down the bottom, dead center like that, and just honing the section they can reach, and doing the same on this side, and then bloody, that was it. So the rings, when they hit the cross here, yeah. Go clean it up anyway. Yeah, it pumped alright, just no wonder it didn't seat. So I'm going to clean that now and have a play, just see what I come up with. I should have done this from the start, but you live and you learn. So I lived, I learned, and you saw it. If you get a pump off the tip, pull the head, clean inside, just do that, just do it. It's a manifold, fairly good. Yeah, it's a fairly good pump. Just, obviously a tradie owned this thing. That's why the cylinders weren't pulled off as well. It's a solid casting, so I'd have to pull the pump off, and I couldn't be stuffed doing all that shit. So yeah. Let's get this thing all cleaned up, shall we? Well, upon closer inspection, they came up good. So, anyway, took this off, and I found something rather alarming. That shuts it up, but doesn't filter anything. Don't ask me what I'm going to do there then. So that's the intake. I think I know what I'll do. Yeah. Something might work, but anyway. Time to clean all this up. That stuff came off real easy. It did. And it does have compression. I cut my hand over it, and it had good suction, good push. I decided it does push air. I just wanted to seat that thing. Okay, it's not crisscross anymore, there's no cross hatching. But I was just running it through my head, and you're putting a hone in there, and yes, you can hone it, but I don't want to do it while there's pistons in there and get stuff wedged down there between the piston and the cylinder wall. And that's not pitting, that's... Yeah, I'll go over it with a paper towel again, get all that out. But yeah, it's not a pitted cylinder. Yeah, so... Yeah, back to it, I suppose. Do a bit of work here and then that's that. Well, that's a lot better. Cleaned where the valve seat and everything, or the shims. I keep calling them valves. It is a valve, a non-return valve, so there's a term I can use. Clean all them up. Now, the reason why cross-hatching is good, apart from it helps a ring seat, at the angle that they're on, like that, oil, wouldn't say large amounts, but a film of oil sort of sits on the wall, and yes, it is. You got the oil scraper. I assume this will have them. A film of oil will stay in those grooves. Yeah, you're not going to see it to the eye. You're just going to see the grooves, like the crisscross. And that helps lubricate the top end. So when you get glazing and stuff, or in my case this, yes, oil will splash up there. Yes, it will get lubricated, but it won't stick around. It'll drain back. It's not going to cause anything catastrophic, but you know, I'd have to, well, to do it properly, I'd have to take it all apart and then hone the cylinders properly, and then for that I may as well stick new rings. So what I'll do now is just, it did pump up pretty good, so, and I did run it, drain the oil, new oil, run it, you know, drain that as well, and then run it, just, and then, well, not run it after draining, I filled it back up, and then that was right. So I made sure the engine, the pump was clean. So I'm going to clean this air box. It's going to be a quick job. Don't know what I'm going to do about a filter, but I will probably get a Briggs & Stratton, I don't know, yeah, probably a Briggs & Stratton foam filter or something, and just stick it in there, just to, not to, so it doesn't restrict airflow, but just stops any crap from getting in there. So yeah, I'll do that tomorrow. You know, it's, I don't know what time it is, but it's pretty late at night. I'll go put this together, make sure there's no dust around it. It's been run a long time without a filter by the looks of things, but I'll know once it reaches pressure and then clicks off. If I can still hear hissing coming out of that crankcase breather there, because what's happening, yeah, these cylinders are getting pressurized, and you're getting blow-by down into the crankcase, and it doesn't happen straight away. This will start to leak, and it will get louder and louder, and then maintain a constant speed of air coming out of there. You go to turn this, and it's difficult, and we turn it on. When it gets down to 90 psi, and the compressor kicks back in where it's supposed to, it won't, because it's under load. You know, those cylinders are meant to be not pressurized. It draw in and push out. They don't actually sit there and hold pressure. So for them to be pressurized like that and not be able to start up, yeah, it's, yeah, I had an exhaust shim was bleeding back into the cylinders, pressurizing them and causing blow-by. That's not good. Plus it's not good as well, because when it is pumping up, instead of just in, out, in, out, in, out, some of it's bleeding back in. So as it's coming in from the outside, you'll pump slower, because some of it's coming in from outside, and some of the air that you pumped out is going back in. So instead of getting a full inhale and then out to the tank, as you coming down, you're also drawing back some of what's in there, because it's not seating properly, and so it takes longer to pump that tank up, because you half of what you've pumped in there, you're pumping in there again. So I was surprised when I realised what was going on. I was very surprised at how quick it would still pump up. So yeah, that's shame the cylinders don't come off, because if they came off, I'd be honing those and I'd be showing you that. But bugger it, let's stick it back together and see what it does. Obviously I cleaned the head. It's not perfect, but better than what it was. You should have seen it. I think you did see it. Bit of gunk there. That's why you always look twice, so I'll get that. Much better. Clean. Don't ask me how I missed that. Yeah, well, I'm pretty tired, so that could be it. Now let's put it back together and see what happens. Well, now that that's all talked down to guesswork specs of, don't ask me, wouldn't have a clue, in the instruction manual, which is located somewhere far away from here in a landfill somewhere. May as well try it now. Probably wondering what that bullshit is. When I put this together some years ago, the pipe I used was too long. You couldn't sit this on the deck. No, very limited I was. So I can't with the timber idea, and it has worked. Put the timber on, and the strap just stopped the wobble. It kept it nice and firm. Well, it didn't wobble much, but the strap kept it nice and firm. It's been there all this time. Haven't had any trouble. So, look, I'm gonna, now that I've got a pretty good job, I'm gonna buy some steel, make something for this to stand on, weld it up, whatever, and yeah. Anyway, so it's all nice and clean. I'm manually turning that first to make sure that it is free turning and nothing's wrong. I'd rather find out off winding it by hand and flick that on and cause some trouble. So yeah, see what happens. Yeah. Now it was pumping up to pressure before, so it'll probably do that now. It might do it quicker than before, don't know. But the main, where it comes in, once it clicks off, I'll be going round to here to have a listen. Yeah, you don't need to get close to hear it. And then, or if there's nothing there, no sound coming from there, I'll hold the trigger to let the air out, let the air die down. When it goes to click back in, that starts up fine, and that pump's not pressurised, and it just starts pumping as per normal. Well, we are happy. Well, I'm happy anyway. You know, I suppose you will be happy to see it work fine and that. So yeah, you didn't waste all this time watching this video to see it fail. But anyway, it's not exactly a failure, because I tried, and yeah. Sounds alright. I believe that's still not happy. Well, I'll show you what it's doing. I'll put this down because as soon as it starts doing, I won't be flicking it off at the power point. But this is what it's doing, so looks like a new pump. If that don't start up, yep, new pump. New pump. And for that, I think it's time for a new compressor. We'll see, we'll see. We'll see once I put my phone somewhere where it will stand up by itself. Yeah, right. Stuff me, dude. See if I can sit on the bug. Yeah, on the tyre will do, I suppose. I forgot I had a bug parked behind me. Should edit this out. Right, we'll let the air out. You'll see it surge and not start back up. I heard a noise and then I flicked it off thinking it was surging, but it didn't. Let's see if it'll start back up again as per normal, because it couldn't do that before. Call that a success. I still don't know why that's happening. But if it's just going to work for me, I don't mind. Well, call that a success, not a failure. My new switch I wired up is good. My new pressure relief valve that replaced the old one, which is this one. Huh. I can go in the bin. I didn't get that off eBay. I paid $48 for that from an engineer shop that had to order it in. Why? This is a pressurized vessel. This is a pressurized container. High pressure that can kill you. I don't care how good it looks coming from China. When it comes to things like a safety feature such as a pressure valve like this, or components, you don't want to skimp out on quality. As a wise man once told me. He told me once 1,000 times, but yeah, so that didn't make any sense. You're dead. You are dead for a long time. You're dead for a pretty long time. So, if you can't afford good stuff, wait until you can, because either wait for the good stuff if you can't afford it, or, well, it could be serious injury, or you wind up dead. Buddy, I've got a pressure regulator coming that I did a research. You'll see me put that on. Okay, it did come from eBay. It is in Australia, probably made in China. Good reviews. It looks nice and sturdy, but it's not a safety feature. It can blow off or whatever. I don't mind. Not near me bug, but that is a thing that will let go when this thing continues pumping. Say this failed. That continues pumping. That'll open up and I'll know that I've gone over pressure. Like I'll run in here thinking that, first thing I'll do is look there. If it's gone past the 800, I'll know. Flick it off. And so don't skimp out on that at all. Things like that you don't go cheap on. Another thing, it is a very old tank. I don't know where to go, what to do, but I'll go and have that. I'll find out where I can get them tested. And if it fails a test, the electric motor, the fittings and all that, the pump can come off it. And then the tank, I'll take it in to be destroyed and recycled. Because if I just throw that on the tip, someone just like me can come along, take this tank that has failed the test, if it fails. Oh yeah, great, free tank, take it home and kill themselves. So, if that fails, don't go looking at the dump for it, because you won't find it. Because you got to look at safety. It is number one, which is what that same fella that told me that you're dead for a long time. He told me that you're look after number one. Safety is priority. Like, it's all good having tools and stuff. Yeah, it's great. But if they're going to hurt you or kill you, you're better off without them. So, that's a very old compressor. I know, because my mate's granddad bought this compressor. Passed it down through the family and stuff. The pump is worn out. It's taking forever to pump up. So I kind of, I will get that checked. And if it fails, I'll keep the parts, throw the tank. I'll buy a new compressor, but just keep them because they're mine. And I'll, why would you throw that out? They're still good. Yeah. Alright, thanks for watching. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Today's a good day, or good evening, good night. Well, I don't even know what time it is. Must be like 1 AM or something. But, yeah. I'm happy. If you stuck around and waited for the whole duration of this video where I yapped on and this and that, yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, like, subscribe, comment, whatever. Yeah, it wasn't really a how-to video. It was just a bit of a, I was going to find this interesting. I'll watch this stuff all the time on YouTube, so, there's my input there. There's my contribution, something interesting for people to watch. Yep. All right, that's that. That's yeah, I gotta pull this out one day. Take it for another spin. Gotta restore this one day, but it goes good. Starts up, runs. But I'm gonna pull the motor out and do a rebuild. Why not? May as well. Gotta take it apart, redo it all. Yeah, it drives well. Goes up the road and back quite nicely. And those aren't dents there. It's just, can't explain that one. Just fault work, just smudges in the paint. Not smudges, but it's old paint. Well, this doesn't look like an air compressor, so I'll move away from the bug now. Oh, jump on YouTube. Oh, you're on YouTube. Look up. They took the boxer engines out of these, modified the head on one side to suck in air and blow it out, like they do. And so it ran 2 cylinders and the other 2 pumped air. They made a compressor out of these things. So, well, not the car, just the motor. Like stuck them on a trailer or something, big tank, and you had a V-dub Beetle or V-dub Boxster bloody air compressor. Yeah, go look that up. That bloody interesting. Yeah, go have a look at that. That's probably the next thing you want to watch. That's, yeah. All right. Thanks for watching. See you later.